Welcome everyone to Leap's Unbound with Leap and Lizard Labels, where we talk all things business, marketing, and customer success. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Robby. I'll be one of your hosts today, and I'm joined with
Courtney, and I will also be one of your hosts today.
And today we are talking all things event marketing, and really most specifically trade shows. As we all know, a little thing happened a couple of years ago, if you haven't heard of it, good for you, called COVID, and that really kind of shut down the trade show industry. So we really want to kind of dissect the feelings and emotions behind that and how the return and resurgence of trade shows and events have been, and then kind of talk about our philosophy on marketing for these events. So Courtney, I know you attend a lot of trade shows and events.
Absolutely.
And you kind of told me a story about how your calendar went from booked to nothing.
100%, and it was overnight. I think in 2019, I had 10 to 15 trade shows back to back, and all of a sudden when COVID hit, it just stopped. Mm-hmm. And it was a little devastating because I absolutely love networking and that community part of events. And all of a sudden, I was no longer there. Mm-hmm. And for me and many businesses, the whole idea of being at an event is community and networking and loving the partnerships that you get to make.
When it's being able to shake hands, you know, it's like we're about to do a big deal together. We're going to work together long term. It's not a one and done. And, you know, you want to be able to shake the hand of someone and look them in the eye, not through a webcam,
100%.
Yeah.
So when COVID hit and we took that big pause, it was also a really great opportunity for us to learn from the trade shows in 2019. So when this world came back to, so to speak, normal, we were able to figure out what those new marketing tasks were going to be.
Sure. So for me, I was working in the travel industry. I was working for a corporate travel company, and I was sending people to all of these trade shows and events. And it was crazy. We got our lockdown orders, and we were all sent home. And then the next day, it was just a flood of cancellations. Canceling travel to and from events and, everything. And then like 3 days later, layoff. And so, really seeing everything just come to a halt. I think it was a big eye opener of how businesses should handle events for the future.
Absolutely.
So tell really quickly, how did you pivot? You're no longer relying on trade shows. So how did you pivot?
So we actually, as a company, had to look at other forms of marketing, and it couldn't be face-to-face.
Yeah.
So I was really, really pushing for digital marketing at that point.
Yeah.
So for us, it was social media and it was content creation. Mm-hmm. That was honestly the most important thing we could do because we could not be that face-to-face. So how could we build relationships, build rapport when we weren't face-to-face? And content was the way to do it. Because as we know, when you get, cold ads, it doesn't feel personal. So we have to come up with other ways. So that's what we did on our end.
Yeah. And I noticed that at Leap and Lizards, constantly producing blogs that are engaging and, providing information. And not just about like, hey, here's a label, but also like really helping small and medium-sized businesses, survive this economic meltdown almost.
Absolutely.
And what I've noticed is Leap and Lizards, we've also been building back up. And so now here we are, it's November of 2022.
Yes.
And I mean, I think we all know that it took a lot longer than we all thought for everything to come back to normal.
100%.
I don't know about you, but when I was laid off, they said, but we'll bring you back on in a month when all of this is over. And so I'm sure with you having a full slate of events, you weren't even thinking that all of those events would be canceled and that you'd be sitting at home for a year.
Absolutely. And they would just push them off, right? Mm-hmm. So we would get an email saying, this event was canceled for March, but don't worry, we'll be back in November. And as we all saw, the November didn't happen. And then the next year, 2021, we were also struggling. And it turned into a bit of a fear base at that point, because all of a sudden now we're joining forces with all these other businesses, but we're scared to be in these big populated areas because what's going to happen? Mm-hmm. So for us, that became a bit of a tactic as well. Do we actually go? Do we not go? What is this going to look like? Mm-hmm. So we were kind of on edge there for a bit as a business.
Yeah. And I mean, it's funny how I think companies that relied very heavily on event marketing, trade show marketing, things like that, even live digital events like webinars, realized that they can't be a single channel, single source company. And so by pivoting to digital, you really and especially doing it early, I think Leap and Lizard set themselves up very well to keep growing and expand. But we all know eventually, whether you wanted to get vaccinated or not, or mask or not, and we're not here to talk politics, but whether you wanted to do any of that or not, the world did eventually kind of open up and start to move forward with, this is our reality, so we're going to figure it out.
Absolutely.
And so 2022, I think, was the resurgence of the live event.
I would agree with that 100%. And we saw many more people excited. Mm-hmm. I have this amazing opportunity to run this marketing mastermind, and all of the women in my group were so excited to return to this new normal and be at these events. So we saw actually less fear and more, I'm stoked to be here and network and see these familiar faces that I haven't seen in 2 years.
Yeah. So I got to go to the Gainsight Pulse conference in San Francisco.
Cool.
And there was such an energy in the room.
Yes.
And that's there was so much power in that room. And the theme was, we're better together.
Oh,
I know. It gave me chills. I still get chills.
Have them right
now. So that theme of we're better together. And you see people, at that one I saw people that I had not seen in 3-4 years because we didn't have the opportunity to go for so long. So that community that you build at these trade shows, I don't know, it's making a big comeback.
It really is. And we have seen, numbers to start. They were slower, but now all of a sudden we're seeing our bigger companies coming back to the trade shows. Mm-hmm. We're seeing travel pick up again. We're seeing the relationship aspect of trade shows. People are so excited. Yeah. And this was the first year that Leap and Lizard started attending again. Mm-hmm. And we just had a blast. People were so excited to come to our booth and just communicate and have that face-to-face interaction.
Yeah. At Leap and Lizard Labels, we make sustainability a high priority. We don't say it, we make it happen. We lessen our environmental impact by printing with water-based inks, run our facility with wind power, recycle our backing for packaging and shipping, use recycled materials in our community spaces, and continuously strive to move away from single-use plastics. We believe everyone shares the responsibility of saving our planet. If you'd like to make a leap forward in reducing your carbon footprint, partner with Leap and Lizard Labels for your eco-friendly labels, stickers, banners, window clings, and floor decals. New customers receive a 20% discount on your first order. For more information on our sustainability practices, visit leapandlizardlabels.com/sustainability. That's leapandlizardlabels.com/sustainability. So I know you went to 3 conferences this year, but I want to specifically talk about Coffee Fest.
Oh my gosh.
Because, I mean, I adore coffee. It's my lifeblood. So I also really loved some of the unique things that you did with marketing.
Yes.
So let's talk about Coffee Fest.
Awesome. I would say Coffee Fest was the first expo that we really brought our marketing efforts together. You know, in the past, we've done lots of really cool, unique things here and there, but Coffee Fest, we brought it together in a very tangible way where people could come to our booth and not only talk to us and have just a great experience with our team, but also they got to take away really cool stickers.
Who doesn't love a good sticker these days?
Oh my gosh, the sticker
Put them on your laptops,
so
on your water bottles.
Yes.
On your children, whatever, you know.
100%. And so what we ended up doing is we ended up creating these stickers with specific QR codes with a type of coffee. And this person could scan the type of coffee that they think their personality type resonates with. And it would take them not only to their personality type, which was really cool, but it also was a marketing tactic because I got to get all of their information and follow back up with them after the show.
Yeah.
It was really great.
Yeah, and I loved the different coffee types that you all use. You had like the straight black coffee that's like there is no BS, you are down to business.
Yes.
You know, there was the Irish coffee, you know, you love to have life of the party, love to have a good time. There was the latte, I mean, the cappuccino. So I loved that. That was brilliant. And like I love that it was tailored to the theme of the event.
Absolutely.
You know, from top to bottom. I mean, you're trying to get coffee roasters, you know, and so obviously they know everything about coffee. Now, I want to ask though, let's talk like hot trade show booth items. Now, at the conference I went to, everybody was handing out books and like customized Purell hand sanitizers.
Yeah.
Which I thought was brilliant.
Totally.
So, but what were you seeing?
I would say, you know, if it's industry specific, that's going to be the most important thing. So for us, because we're a label and sticker company, having custom stickers that really resonate with that event is extremely important. We also had labels at our booth that when a coffee company came by, they actually saw coffee labels so they could touch and feel them and pick them up and say, I actually could see my brand on this material.
Yeah.
We had all of the products that we offer at our booth as well, like a banner. We print floor decals. So we actually had floor decals on the floor that were just very curated and everything was branded nicely to that event.
Yeah.
It just flowed. As people were walking by, they loved it. People were coming out of the blue like, I heard you had stickers that had, you know, your personality. I want one, you know? It was really cool.
Well, and I think what's so great about that is you did something that's not going to take up a lot of suitcase space.
Absolutely.
You know, because like, and now I'll be honest, I do a swag raid at every trade show. I go and I get the notepads and the water bottles and the pens and all that. So I totally do a swag raid. But for people that aren't like me and travel with 8 suitcases at all time, you know, having something thin like that, you know, that they can take home and you know, and have for a long period of time, that's great. So we're moving more toward digital, but still some people are keeping those business cards.
Yes.
So let's talk event follow-up.
Absolutely. And I am definitely one of those people that have a bag full of business cards in the last 5 years. So I get it. The one thing that is so crucial, though, is the event follow-up. You meet so many people on the floor, and it's so easy to meet that person. They come up to you. They're like, I need labels. And then they go home and they forget about you.
Yeah.
Now, we have a really catchy name, Leapin' Lizard, so I'm the lizard lady, but that still doesn't help when it comes to the follow-up.
Yeah.
So really having a process put in place that you can follow up with these really hot leads, medium leads, cold leads. You have an automation process. So you have your digital marketing team put together something that over the next week to 6 months, there's constantly something flowing in their inbox. So it just continues that relationship. Because what we found out is cold calling and these direct sales that happen right away, that's not where we're at in our society.
No.
It is all about the relationship, and when you need it, you will call. We could have a client convert in 1 day, or it could take 2 years. And so it's just being top of mind and present, a follow-up game that just is a long-term game.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about creating and nurturing that relationship, using things like personalization tokens where you cut out some of the hard work that goes into nurturing, but it still feels personal to the person on the other end. I think that that's important. Even in setting up these automated nurture streams, the lead still feels like they're being remembered.
Absolutely.
You know? And then the best part is it's replicable.
100%.
You know, you learn what is, you learn what works and what doesn't, and then you replicate it for your next event, and whatever you've got going on from there.
I think that is 100% the case.
Yeah. So any parting thoughts on trade shows and events?
Do them, go there, be excited, learn about them, learn from the process, and just have fun.
Yes, have fun. If you get the opportunity to go to that happy hour that a company is throwing, go for it. Go to the happy hour, meet people. Don't hole up in your hotel room and watch Netflix. Get out there and go. And you also get to see some pretty cool cities along the way.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Well, this has been Leaps Unbound. Remember to make your business leaps unbound this week. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.